What is up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into the webinar here today for live website audits. What's killing your sales calls, or what's killing your calls, momentum, etc. It's going to be a fun webinar. I actually really like this particular topic because I get to pick apart websites and roast them, and it's fun. And obviously, it's a toaster roast. And so if you've got a good website that is here, then yeah, absolutely, 100%. I will give you props on that good website. And of course, if it is a roast, well, sorry about that. Hopefully, the goal from this isn't to make the people whose websites I have pulled up, or if you want your website, by the way, you can drop that in the comments as well. And we can I can pull it up and we can do a roast, toaster roast live on the website or live on the call. Jeez. Get my words out a little bit better here, Thaddeus. So I might choke on a few words. You know those days where you wake up and it's like 2 a.m. and you're like, well, I'm not going to fall back asleep. Yeah, that was me this morning. So 1:45. Normally I don't look at the clock, but for whatever reason, like, man, I felt like I had a good sleep, and I looked at my, it's only 1:45. I've only been asleep for 4.5 hours. But anyways, here we are. I'm making do. So apologize in advance if I have a little bit of a space case on something that I say. But let's dive into it. I'm excited here to get into it. But first, I'm going to share. I got to add my participant. Share screen. Share the window, get this guy up and rolling, and I'm going to remove the bookmarks bar here. Hi, bookmarks bar. There we go. So give you a little bit extra pop here to be able to see. So now y'all can see my screen. So let's dive in. Live website audits. What is killing your calls? Okay. So let's start with a quick agenda on what we're going to go over. I got a quick highlight on a couple key points that we are going to go over. This, of course, there we go. That's the screen that I want. And then it's toaster roast time. That's that simple. So ground rules for today. I'm going to lay some ground rules for it. First off, to be present during this, and you know what, that's it. So I ask for your undivided attention. I'm going to try to keep it to 30 minutes. We'll see how I do. Of course, if there's more to be able to go through and you guys wanted me to keep going, well, then I'll keep going. I've got the full hour booked off to be able to toast or roast some websites here with you guys. So first off, who am I? If you've never heard of me, you're tuning into this webinar. Well, I built On Purpose Media specifically for HVAC, plumbing, and electrical contractors. That doesn't mean that we don't work with other home services. That's just our bread and butter. We work with a couple of roofers, garage doors as well. And so building those into that, if you're doing home services, well, we got you. Okay. The gap though that I found is, I always hate this part about talking about myself, by the way, was that contractors hated marketing agencies because they didn't understand the business, right? There's one of three things that came into the camps that I always found is that usually, and I sat down with a lot of in a previous world before the digital marketing, did print advertising, and I sat down with a lot of small businesses, and they had one of three things to say about their digital marketing agency. One is they paid them money and they don't know really where they went and their product sucked. We see that a lot, by the way. Number two is you pay them money and you kind of get a little bit of communication, but you still don't know what they're doing. And the third is I love them, right? They're great. They're communicative. That we have everything communicative. That might be a new word. They have very responsive communication in there, but that's why we went down the road. Specifically, when you think about a generalist agency who works with all different types of businesses, they don't understand the niche, right? We're a 7-figure business using proven strategies that generate phone calls, not just website clicks. And I'm a huge believer in transparency, by the way. When we mess up, we own it, we fix it. We're human after all. Every single person makes mistakes. The difference is those that own it and those that don't. Actually, what our first core value inside of our organization is do what's right, not what's easy. And that encompasses transparency, honesty, integrity, all those things in there. So I'm a steward for a great culture, by the way. I've got a talk out on my YouTube channel to be able to, it's going through core values and really how to build that further. And of course, I've got over a decade in marketing. 2014 is when I began my marketing journey. So let's dive into the things that matter for a website. First off, user experience, right? Your website is built for your customers. I want this abundantly clear. A website is not built for your digital marketing agency. It is not built for you even. It is built for your customers. One could argue Google too, right? And LLMs. But when you think about that, that's really the end, the essence is when your website needs to convert, the design needs to convert for them, okay? The speed here is key, okay? This is a big thing for consumers, right? And I'll talk about a couple of things. Like, does anybody know, by the way, if you know this, if you're watching, put it into the comment section. How fast in seconds does a consumer want a website to load? Okay. If you guys have a guess on that, put it into the comments. If you're watching on Team Replay, then yes, put that into the comments too. I'll respond back to them as well. And so by the way, we are live. It is August 27th at 1:06 p.m. Those that are watching this later because it's streamed live might be able to catch us on my Facebook page. So how many seconds do you think a consumer wants a website to load? Okay. Well, it is actually at the speed of light, 2 seconds or less. I mean, they want speed like a speed of light, like 2 seconds or less. You think about that. They want it quick, right? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. If your website hasn't shown any signs of loading, they're gone, right? They don't even blame their phone. They're just gone, right? They want it to load fast. Now, the other key to this is how fast does Google want a website to load? Okay. There's actually 3 parts to this. Consumers, that's the first and most important one. Now, by the way, if you hit 2 seconds or less, guess what? You're going to match Google because Google wants it 3 seconds or less. They've actually said, well, we don't really care much about page speeds and blah, 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 blah. But they also have this thing called first content painful. I'm not going to get into the technical jargon of it. Just know when your website is built, you need to make sure that it's optimized for fast loading. If you go on a site, when it doesn't load them, everybody's got fast internet these days, right? So it should load quick. But if it loads slow, they're gone, right? We're living in an instant gratification society. So that's why they want it to load fast. Now, the other part is how fast do LLMs, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, AI mode, Google, how quick do they want the site to load? Well, it doesn't really matter. They don't care. As long as they can easily read your text without consuming a lot of data. That's it. They just want to be able to read what's on your site without consuming a lot of energy and bandwidth to be able to do so. Okay. So that's the speed factor. Okay. Another part of this is simplify the website. You think about conversion rate optimization and what goes involved in here. Well, you need to make it super easy for them to find a few things. Okay. This is the simplification of things, right? You want to have a simple website with a modern feel, simple and modern. And that's my ethos anyways. That's my deep-rooted belief is that if you can create a simple, robust website that is modern, you're going to win people and win conversion rates. The average website, by the way, converts at around 2%. The websites that we build at On Purpose Media, we're about 4%, 5% in terms of the conversion rate. Now, those with a great brand, think like Dan Antonelli and KickCharge and Prolific and those ones that are really well, robust brands, they tend to convert around double. So they're about 4 to 5% on average, and our ones that have those brands are double that. So we're about 8% for those brands because of the way that we've built our websites with simplicity in mind. Okay, I don't care about all the fancy bells and whistles on a website. I really don't. I want it simple. I want it modern. That's it. That's all your consumers want. Okay, so you need to make it easy to find the phone number because guess what? If your heating or cooling contractor and their furnace or their air conditioner is out, they're going to want to call you. No, maybe they'll book online. Okay? If they got a sewer backup, they aren't filling out a form, right? They're going to be calling you. If they're out of hot water, maybe they'll fill out a form, but they probably want to get in touch with somebody right away. Book a service either online or make that phone number. So that's the other one, online booking. Do you have it really easy for them to have online booking? Look, if you're with House Call Pro has online booking. Service Titan, guess what? They have scheduling. They have online booking. There's other platforms out there that have it. Sarah Systems has online booking. If you are not adding the online booking to your website, you are missing out. By the way, caveat with online booking, make sure there's a pop-up when they stay on your website. That's an SEO thing. It's also like a conversion rate optimization thing. You want people to stay on your ecosystem longer, okay? I have many missing that opportunity for online booking. Huge, huge opportunity, okay? You want to be able to find a contact form. Some people still want to submit the contact form to you. I know. Weird concept, right? But they still do. They want to submit a contact form and they want you to call them back. You can also speed to lead that, by the way. Chat widgets are good to be able to have on there. AI chat widgets, text chats, whatever, however you want to do it. Make sure that somebody responds back right away, though. Okay. Those and any additional services that you offer, right? Those are kind of like the core key 5 things that we see a lot of people missing on sites. I got some examples. There's some doozies, but again, if you have your own example, if you have your own website, you want me to live audit it, put it in the comments. And if you don't want to put it in the comments, you can text it to this number, and that goes through. So if you don't want to put it on there or whatever, and in the comments and what have you, you can text it to me and I can pull it up as well. So that is 719-824-1377, 719-824-1377. But of course, there you go. So I love this. Eric Thomas submits a request form at Red Robin for his fries. Probably he probably chooses DoorDash or Skip the Dishes. So actually, I think Skip the Dishes is a Canadian thing. DoorDash down there, Uber Eats. So, anyways, now because I have to, I know I got to read this. Okay, sorry guys. Okay. Boring legal disclaimer time. Okay. So I had my lovely friends at ChatGPT create this for me. But okay, this is a long one. Okay. I had to make sure I covered all the bases here. So before we dive into the heart of our discussion, we'd like to take a moment to share an important disclaimer. The opinions and comments expressed in this webinar are intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. They reflect our personal views and not intended to malign any organization, company, or individual. Our discussions, including any critiques or praises of websites, are based on subjective assessments and are not definitive judgments of quality, functionality, or overall character of the websites in question. We recognize and respect the hard work and creativity that goes into website development and digital content creation. Nothing said during this portion of the webinar should be construed as legal, financial, or professional advice. We encourage our audience to conduct their own research and seek professional consultation for their specific needs. We aim to foster a respectful, I should have paused there. We aim to foster a respectful and constructive dialogue and invite our audience to share their perspectives, understanding that diverse opinions enrich our discussion. By participating in this webinar, you acknowledge that the views expressed are for informational and entertainment purposes only and agree not to hold the webinar hosts, speakers, or affiliates liable for any direct or indirect damages arising from the use of information provided. Thank you for joining us and look forward to engaging in an insightful session. All right. There you go. He has been on a huge DoorDash kick, but you don't get bottomless fries. Sorry, bud. But I guess when you've got a new kid, you kind of do anything to survive, especially when you got two of them. And let's just say, Eric, once the second kid starts crawling, it becomes chaos, and then once they start both walking, like it's a wildlife. I mean, although I have two boys that are 21 months apart, so it's a little bit different for me because, well, two boys are absolute chaos. Anyways, I digress. Back on the topic here. So let's dive into the toaster roast. All right. If anybody has a site, again, let me check to see if anybody's messaged it in, texted in. I have a few. Sorry, rather pull up. So I'm going to move this over to here. Hopefully I can still, actually, I can't quite see your comments on here. So when I have this over on this side. So you know what? I'm going to go over onto the other side here and do my best so I can still see your comments. Wish there was a pop out on this to be able to see comments. That would be neat. So StreamYard, if you guys are listening, that would be great for you guys to have a pop out comment section where I can move it to somewhere else and have my other screen here. That would be fun. That would be fantastic. So let's dive in. Let's get the first one going. Whoops, I just closed that one. So we'll go with this one. So, all right. Again, I don't know who these are. These people, I have no affiliation, direct link to this. I have a list of some HVAC businesses. I clicked on a whole bunch of websites. I found some that are mainly poor, but I wanted to highlight a few things. So first off, when I look at this website, it is very bland. As Dan Antonelli say, branded or blanded. Well, it's bland. The other part is there's also no phone number that I can easily find or see on here. Okay? I scroll down and I still haven't found the phone number. I still don't see a phone number. It's just schedule my free estimate. And it looks like it goes to a contact us page. They've got a couple of their, the why choose us things. But again, I still don't find a phone number. Maybe they want it that way. Maybe they don't want to have a phone number on this site. And now we have at the very bottom of services that they offer. So it comes in a lot lower. And I mean, we can debate the structure and the hierarchy of how things should look. But in my opinion, they've missed a lot of mark on this opportunity. And it is a pretty womp site. If I go to our services, it actually stays on this one page. So it is a one-page website. But again, no easy way to find the phone number. Like that's number one. I'm not even going to run a speed test on this one, to be honest, guys. I think that one is basically a this is a roast. Pretty bland. So let me see if I can find one that's a little bit better here. This one, actually. This one's not a bad website to be able to use on the toaster roast. So we have this, and actually, you know what? I'm going to bring another one over here. So this is actually one of our website builds. And so we can actually go back and forth between the two on it. So you can actually see Acme Plumbing Co. Kind of similar, a lot of decent things that they have here in terms of the similarities of what we got. So exactly, simplification makes a ton of sense. It's like too much to read. Like it's like receiving a long text from my wife. Yeah, something like that. So I'm not gonna attach that one, John. That's all you. So you look at this guy here in this site of what we have. He has the phone number here up here. I can find it. I love the 4th generation family plumbers and really pulling that forward. I actually really love the veteran play on the hat here. It's a good user photo, and by the way, user photos of your company go a long ways. By the way, one marketing company, John, why don't you drop the link to Grande Air Solutions so we have that. So the photos are key. Like the biggest difference, we actually see an uptick in a conversion rate by having legitimate photos on a website. Now, they don't need to be professionally done photos, people. They do not need to be professionally done photos. Like this looks like it's a professional photo minus the guy's not smiling in the background. But like I'm going to go down here and I'm going to see what other photos they have. So they only have the one photo on the top. But again, it pulls in on what they're trying to accomplish in terms of plumbing services. I'm having a tough time reading this for whatever reason. Fixture plumbing. Maybe it just could be the font on it. So see if they have. So they have Acme Plumbing again. Might be just the one photo that they have on here. But not a bad layout in terms of that. So anyways, I'm going to go back to the homepage from it. And so again, I really like that photo thing. You need that on there. So I like the photo. I like the schedule and appointment. It actually looks like it goes to online booking. So they can actually do some online booking, which I like. I'm not going to go through the whole process. So they've got the online booking that's on there. The one thing that I mean, this isn't bad in terms of this site is this header and what we call the header image. I like how it stays on there and it's not super huge. I see some that take up like a quarter of the page. But one thing that some developers do, I know that we do this. So you look over at Cool Dynamics, boom, simple. And by the way, we've got some brands that are way more robust than theirs, and they're happy with their brand and their website's crushing and growing. But it's a simplistic brand, and I wanted to show you that. So most brands are very simplistic. They're not the big kick charge ones. But watch what happens to the header. It goes away, and then it comes back. It goes away, it comes back, it goes away, it comes back. And so now we're actually enhancing the user experience, by the way, so they can see everything on their screen. This becomes especially important on mobile view. Okay. Right now, depending on area, some places we see 80% traffic on mobile, and some places are 50-50, and anywhere in between that. Okay. I'm curious to see what it looks like on mobile. So luckily I have a little handy dandy tool up here that I can actually show you what it looks like on mobile. So they actually have their call button up here, which is nice. And you scroll down. So it stays up here and it's not that big, which is nice. This looks like a Google Pixel phone. And so it's actually not that bad. You come over, whoopsies. You come over to this guy, and let's reload this guy on mobile. And you can see we have that same sort of a header on here. So book online, call now, big green button, right? You can't miss that. They have call now, and it's a different button. So, and it goes away, it comes back, it goes away, it comes back. The next time you're on Facebook, if you're watching this on Facebook, you can, well, no, don't scroll away because then you leave my video. But next time you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, they all have this disappearing and reappearing menu bar. So consumers are already conditioned to be able to see this. And it's something that's super small, but goes a long way, in my opinion, on the usability factor of how this works. Another thing that I like on this particular website, once it reloads again, there we go. I like how they have their services up here. Residential, commercial, construction. I like how they have that separated by residential and commercial because they clearly do both, right? And so it's, again, they could use a little bit more spacing and padding. Overall, as like a quick look at this. I cut their phone number is a little bit broken on this. It could be just the size of how I've made my monitor as well, in terms of the optimization. Not quite a laptop size, a little bit bigger, whatever. Like they've got the Y Choose Acme down here, which is good. I would probably give this a solid like B in terms of the ratings. I think there's some things that they could change a little bit different. For whatever reason, I'm having a tough time with this kind of brownie background on the white font. Kind of hurts my eyes a little bit. So might be something that I'd look to change in terms of that. Now, here's a quick test that you can do on a website. So if you look at your website, and I'm just going to pull this one up, okay? Oh, that was the old one. The quick test of what you can do on your site is to be able to say, okay, well, what information can I see within the first 5 seconds? Okay. I like that test, because now if you come to a brand new one, it's like, boom, what do you see within the first 5 seconds? Trusted Heating and Air, Boys' Trusted Heating Company. I see a phone number. I see schedule online. Boom, done. Okay, sweet. Eyes, by the way, the eyes work, and this is called the golden triangle. And it's a philosophy. You see it in nature a lot. The eyes tend to go in a kind of like in a circle, and they go from the center, and they kind of go rotate up and around to the right and down. And they keep going into a circle, and they go wider and wider and wider. Okay, things tend to go, when you look at like print material, for example, they tend to actually, people look at it, they go right to left, and then they read left to right. And so they scan it right to left, read left to right. I mean, books are kind of adverse on that. But again, you look at this, and boom, they got the phone number up here. They got the schedule online, and it looks like it goes to contact form. So they don't actually have the ability to schedule online. It's just submit service request that they have on there. So kind of a little bit of a misleader, but I'm fine with that. So anyways, let's take a look at this site, because I got it up and going through again. Simple look on there. They get the easy be able. You can easily find their services. There we go on this. And so again, good first impression, good look, very simple. They've got air conditioning, they've got heating, they've got indoor air quality on here, and they've got their services. Their buttons are a little misaligned here. This is nitpicky stuff, right? But you think about this, like these are, I mean, consumers will never notice it. So of course, it's a marketer that points this out. But again, something so simple as having it aligned all the way across goes a long ways from a simplicity stake. So I like how they have this layout here. The color gradient, the color scheming is fine. I mean, they got their brand in here. Interesting break on the section. Really interesting to see what it looks like on mobile. Looks like a photo. That actually might be a stock photo on there, and so they're missing a couple. Actually, there are their own photos. That looks like a stock photo. That one might not be. This one doesn't really look like it, but stock photo. Look, guys, I have no issues with stock photos, but who wears a hard hat when they're working outside, unless you're in commercial and you have to, and a yellow one to boot on that. So make sure that when you are using stock photos, you use ones that don't look like that. Okay? There should be no hard hats on there. Or the one guy that is on like 1,000 different websites doing the quote. I like that guy, but he's got a different logo on all shirts. So simple site. I think you could use a little bit more robustness in terms of like some SEO components of things. I'm actually in this kind of a little bit of a mess up on here. So it loaded down and it's fine. So I actually want to run this one. Actually, I'm going to do, because I got rid of my page speed insights. Let's run this guy. Bam. I'm going to run Acme Plumbing. I'm curious. I'm also going to run this guy too, because I'm curious. And boom, I'll see what happens when that shows up. I'm just curious on the page speed. So look at that mobile. That one actually came in pretty good. Mobile. So he has green, time to first byte, yellow, and cumulative layout shift 0.18. So he actually failed core web vitals from a mobile perspective. So that doesn't really bode well when you're failing your core web vitals, because that's what Google looks at for things. On desktop, it's a little bit better, but again, he failed those as well. Time to first bytes of your website hosting, by the way, for the most part. It's got a good page speed overall, though, so it actually performs well when people are on it and loads fairly quickly. It's just not passing Google's core web vitals. Most people don't unlock this. He's got a decent amount of traffic to be able to unlock this insight, which is good for him. So this one is still running, so we'll see what comes back up for that one. He also doesn't have a favicon up here, this little tiny guy. So again, a couple small things on there. I would probably give this a solid C minus, just because he's lacking more pomp to it, and it's just fairly simplistic. So All right, we've already done that one. Grande Air Solutions. That's the one that John wanted to do. GrandeAirSolutions.com. All right. Book now, HVAC services. So book now, that goes to request a service, and it is a form, which again, completely fine. It's, no issues with that. So if I go back to this though, let's scroll down. So right away, actually, I don't mind air conditioning service and HVAC repair service and HVAC contractor in Austin, Texas. So from an SEO perspective, by the way, it would be tough to, in my opinion, rank this particular page just because the title is actually two competing things, as well as the H1 header, which basically tells Google what your page is about from a web infrastructure thing. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm showing right now. So his H1 header is here. So I had a Google Chrome extension up here that I was clicking on, but it doesn't work when I'm sharing my window only. So anyways, this is the H1 header. And so he's actually has two keywords, right? So he's air conditioning repair service and he HVAC contractor in Austin, Texas. So you're actually confusing Google a little bit because Google's like, well, is this an air conditioning repair service or is this an HVAC contractor? I don't really know. The consumers, they'll be okay. They generally can see through that and understand what they're trying to go after on that, especially on the homepage. I mean, when we rank some of the service pages on there. So one thing I don't like is I find this text is a little bit hard to read on the green background. Just from a usability function with the white on the vehicles on there. Again, we want to think through that too, saying, okay, what's a consumer going to see too? How is a consumer going to read that? I love the photo of the vans in the background. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vans in there. The people that are behind that actually looks really clean. I really like the idea of what they're going for on here and trying to accomplish. Okay. The one thing 24/7 origin phone number is a little small. I mean, it's up there. You can find it. But I find this up here is just a little confusing to find the information, kind of get a little lost on it. Not bad though. Not bad. Okay. As you scroll down, it's got, higher top, it's got the trust factors, right? 500 Google reviews, Google customer, Yelp, featured on, so which is good. It's got the why us part of things, which is also good. A couple deals, I like to see those on there. So free service call with AC heating repairs, nice little offer. Again, gives an enticing offer for people to call in. There we go. Trusted HVAC contractor in there. They've got their heating and cooling stuff down there. I actually really like the layout of this, by the way, of having this air conditioning and AC repair, AC installation, these down here. It's a little, it's not centered below this, and so that's one thing I'd like to see is that cleaned up because it doesn't quite match the flow of what you're trying to accomplish on here. Obviously, these are the big ones, and then people come down here, and it's just other services that are listed. I'd like to see a little bit better of a flow on that. Looks like their own photo, which is also good. So you have their own photo in here. I think all of their website has their own photos. So again, like this looks like a professional one. This just looks like somebody snapped a photo of their guy, which honestly, these photos work, by the way. These photos work. Okay? People want to see authenticity. Google wants to see authenticity. AI wants to see authenticity. Consumers spend less than a minute on a page before taking an action. That's the average amount of time spent on pages, under a minute, by the way, for home service businesses. Think about that. Less than a minute on your site. They don't care to read all the information. They're going to come on, they're going to skim. Can they easily find the information and see if they're a reputable company? And then can they call you or book online? Like, are there easy actionable items on here? One thing I'd like to see is this hero up here reappearing on a scroll, or even just staying sticky. It's not that big of a header, wouldn't take up that much of the page. That's one thing that I'd like to see in terms of a change on that. This isn't bad. This kind of looks like a little bit broken text and with the image kind of wrapped around it, which isn't horrible. It's designed to try to do this. It's just this text section was a little bit too long for that particular part, which again, that's minor on here. And why the homeowners across them like it, their photo and their video. It looks like a video on there, which is also good. I like this. This is how our process. Request your service 24/7. Call us or fill out an online form. This thing here, by the way, call. It's a hyperlink. So I can actually do this and I can actually call it. But again, think about a consumer's on a desktop, right? So how can they click a call button on a desktop unless they've connected their phone to their computer? I don't think most people have done that. Okay, so keep that in mind. So I like those things. And then schedule online, which again, it's just the form fill. So I'd like to see. It looks like a double form actually. Form this information form. Interesting, a little weird service area over on the side. So a couple things that I would like to clean up from that perspective. I am curious though to see what it looks like on mobile. And actually, while we do that, run this guy here on PageSpeed. So let's run on mobile and take a look at what she's going at for the consumers on here. All right. Call 24/7 line. Perfect. That's a clickable button. Check offers, book service, bang, done. I like it. It's got it in here. I would like to shrink this up a little bit so you can actually see this information down here. You look at there's something called above the fold. And it's an old newspaper term. The newspapers that used to be folded in half, right? And the above the fold is the top section of the newspaper. When they were at the newspaper stands, they wanted to have the most important eye attention grabbing headline above the fold. And then when they folded, there's other ones, and of course anything else goes on the inside. So what is the biggest, most attention grabbing thing that you need to be able to put above the fold? Well, it needs to tell the consumer who you are and what you do. Okay. Come back to this one, for example. Right. Cool day. Book online, call now. Trusted HVAC services in Live Oak and San Antonio since 2013. Photo of them on a van. Boom. That's all above the fold, right? All above the fold. Where on this one, it's a little bit tough. I'd actually be curious to see on their back end Google Analytics what their conversion rates are on this site. Now, as we scroll down, I like the call button here. You can pick and you can call on that. It stays there the whole time, which is good. Some people like things on the bottom. Some people like things at the top. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I know people have spent money on testing, putting them at the bottom, but I think iPhone has their URL at the bottom. Actually, my Google phone can actually do that too. I switched it and I was like, that's weird. So I like things at the top. I guess that's just me. So anyways, on the mobile view, it again does the same thing. Deals, it's moved around a lot and it looks fine for mobile. Again, they've listed off all their things here. I'd like to see a little bit better of a synergy on that. And instead of listing everything, okay, what are the most important ones? Air conditioning, heating, other. So look at Cool Dynamics in what they have. And so they scroll down, expert services, cooling, heating, heat pumps, air quality. So like, oh, I am calling about cooling. Now they click on cooling and it runs over and it goes to the main cooling page. And then down here, we actually can have more cooling services, right? So they can actually guide their journey down the path of what they're looking for. They're looking for air conditioner, and then they look down like, oh, AC install, AC repair, AC tune-up. I'm thinking AC repair. They click on the AC repair, and they load on that page. And here we are, trusted AC repair in San Antonio. Okay. With the form on the side, the conversion rate optimization part of things tells us we should put forms on the side, by the way. Not everybody wants a form, but again, you see this like big, boom, bold. They can call and they can schedule the service. Okay. And that's a key thing. So see what their page speeds are. Still running. Oh, there we go. So 94. Not bad. You see they didn't unlock core web vitals, just not as much data for the site. 66 on mobile. So from Google's perspective, it doesn't actually load that bad. There's one other one that we have. Let me actually find this. Bookmarks, page speed. There we go. Let's do this guy. I like to sometimes look at time to first byte because this is a good indication on if it's going to load fast. It's like a green, not good, green. So overall, pretty solid. You look at where they're probably be at in the south on there. So again, they're hitting the green on the time to first byte, which is good in terms of the page speeds for what Google wants. So that's my opinion on this. I would probably give this guy a solid A- on the site. I'm actually kind of curious. My personal preference is I don't like these double menus when I come over here and it's got over over on the side. That's just my personal preference. I know some people like them. And we tend to do a mega menu for it. Again, not everybody needs to do this mega menu. It's just our preference of cooling. You got under here, heat pump, air quality, heating, ducts, mini splits. It's just easier for people to categorize and see what they're looking for. So, all right. AC Repair in Austin, Texas. Boom. They've got a good keyword on that. High top rated HVAC company. Why schedule now. So they've got some good conversion rate optimization things on here. Just a couple things to clean up. That's it. And they got all their content down here. So it's actually overall not a horrible site. Kind of like where it's at. I'm actually would be curious to see what their rankings are, but that's not the point of today's call. This is for a live website audit. So what do you think? We got one more? Time for one more? Sure, let's do one more. All right, let me find one down here because let's just pick on San Antonio in the south today. So again, I randomly found some sites. So this site is one that I think has a ton of opportunity. Okay, so if you guys know, stay cool. Heating and cooling, air conditioning and heating. There you go. Get them in touch with me because I think we could build a banging site for this. And so I like the retro vibe and the look of what they got going on here. I just think they could give some extra pop to it, and they've done some creative things. So the one thing I actually wanted to show on this site is this. Oh, I like how it lights up too. But it says give us a call, guys. I'm on a desktop, right? Like I can't call you on a desktop. I can click on it and I got to pick an app, right? So put a phone number on there. It just makes things life so much easier. They have their phone number up here, but I actually find that gets lost in there, and it kind of gets lost a little bit in here. So, oh, I see what happened. It's not a menu bar for them to click on. So that's what I did. I thought I was going to pop over to that side. So they have their heating, cooling. And again, they're completely fine. You don't need the mega menu for it. I find these buttons are a little misleading over here, just from like a user perspective to be able to find it. But I like the outline of this over here. So customer login over here, which is neat. But let's see if that pulls up. I'm just going to check something really quickly. So San Antonio, number one HVAC company. So, yeah, I mean, are they the number one HVAC company? I don't know. I generally don't like that from a copy perspective, just because everybody tends to put that. So, all right, seasonal offerings by AC. So this pink font on the pink background with the pink box, in my opinion, a little tough to read in terms of the eyes and where it kind of goes. I mean, you can do it, but you got to focus on it a little bit. So I look to improve that. HVAC experts of San Antonio, they're pulling like a Vegas vibe up here. What I find, so services, how can we help? AC installation. So they're pushing you down here. There's actually no repair on here. So it's AC maintenance, AC installation maintenance membership club. So I would like to see AC repair, especially in today's economy. That would be a good, I think, to add into that. There we go. They've got this over here, woman owned, minority owned, like the badges, do the trust badges. Again, give us this call. Again, they're doing a retro vibe, which has some great things on here. It's just I would clean it up a little bit, make it a little bit more simplistic. So you still have the modern vibe, the modernness with the retro vibe to make it there. I would try to put this family up a little bit higher. Why not? Right? When you can show the family part of things, to be able to push it up and have that rock and roll. And I love the service areas down here. Again, a lot of great things that are on the go, but I think you could add in a few extra things and just simplifying the website a little bit. I feel it's trying to do too much with the retro vibe and look for it. So simplifying that could be a beneficial thing for you guys. I'm going to do a reload on this, and let's run it on mobile here. Okay, so the cookies, you know what? I'll accept their cookies today. It's funny that I pulled up on mobile but not on desktop. So right away, again, it doesn't look like it's actually fully mobile optimized. Usually I check this on my phone just to make sure. And I'm going to do that here right now just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Stay cool. It looks the same on my phone as it does on the mobile. So right off the bat, and again, I've got it right here. I've got it pulled up on my phone too. The phone number is super tiny, tough to read on there. They get the menu bar, which is fine. But like they're not actually even centered inside the buttons, and the buttons are actually smaller and now more difficult to read. So I have a feeling that people will actually be turned off on this site when they land on it on mobile, because they're having to squint to try to find something, right? You think about the guess depending on the user. I always find it funny whenever I look at like my dad or my father-in-law and my mom or my mother-in-law, and I just happen to see the size of the font on their phones. It's massive because they have a tough time seeing it. But anyways, when you look at this, if I have to squint and look at it, and I mean, I'm 40 years old and I'm an ideal customer avatar for pretty much every single business that's out there. John's like, yep, he's the one that probably has size 27 font on his phone. You look and he's got like 4 words on his text message screen. Is probably what John's what John has. So, again, it's tough to see. I mean, again, very good color palette, by the way, on this. I agree. But again, it's tough to see these sorts of things in here. Like this is, I can't read this, and to be able to put that. This is not working. I can't see anything else on this. This site had a lot of promise. It scrolls over on my phone. So again, that's why I use that on my phone. So it scrolls over, but it doesn't scroll over on this. I don't like the scroll on a scroll myself. I would like to try to see this all in one layer so people can see it, they can find it. The other part when I get on this wasn't bad on desktop, but looking at the font over top of the lines now makes this really difficult to read. And I've got to really focus my eyes on this. So again, if I'm going through this and I'm looking at this, I imagine it's going to actually hurt conversion rates, because you think about, and again, I'm being a little bit more nitpicky than most, but when you think about the consumer, right, they want simplicity and ease of booking. Generally, when they're on your website, put it this way: there's 3% of the market. Your target market at any given time is needing your services. Their RC is broken and they need it repaired now. And those are the people that are going to be calling you and they want you to come out today. We know that we want repair calls for air conditioning company. I'm using air conditioning in this example because guess what? They're an air conditioning company. I mean, insert any business in here. Furnace is down. The plumber, they have no hot water. Right, the electrical, their power grid blew, and they don't have any lights. Right, it's nighttime. They need to get it fixed, sort of a thing. Like there's so many different ways that I can go down. Their garage door doesn't open. Their trucks, their vehicles inside their garage. Most of them know you can pull a little red handle and pull your door up, but now their garage door doesn't work and they're stuck in there. Right, thinking about those things. Right, think through that a little bit to say, okay, well, where are they at? Well, how easily can they get in touch with you when they have a pain? Okay, 17% of the market, by the way, it knows they have a problem and they're actively seeking out information to a solution. So they're information gathering. They're going to go on your website. You want to serve them that information. And so the website is generally appealing to that 20%. Another 20% knows they have a problem, but they're not actively seeking out a solution. And the last 60% doesn't know they have a problem, doesn't know there's a solution out there. Okay? They're not landing on your website. We're going after the 20% of the people who have a problem, they need to call you today, or they're information gathering and trying to get the information. If you can't serve them that information, you failed on your website. Simple, right? If they have to dig and look and squint and maneuver and MacGyver your website, they're gone. They're not sticking around. You want to give consumers the path of least resistance. Okay. So again, I mean, buried down here, their services. So had a lot of potential. Really like the color. Really like the palette that they have on here. I think this site has a ton of potential to be able to really rock and roll and crush something pretty spectacular and special, just given their color schemes in and of itself. I love the pink because, hey, guess what? We have pink in our brand. So you think about this, and coming back to this for one last second, and then we'll wrap things up. So you think about the simplicity of this site. If somebody's landing on here for AC repair, they're like, trusted AC repair in San Antonio. Okay, it works for me. Quality work for Texas homeowners. I can book online or I can call now. Oh, or I can just fill out a form. Oh, okay. Oh, hey, here's some trust badges, right? Reviews loading. People can scroll, see the reviews. Oh, photo of the guy in the van. Sweet. And yeah, okay, it's the same photos on the homepage. Who cares? Like, I mean, the more photos you have, the better, right? But he's at least got some of his own original photos in here, right? And he's taking more and we're swapping them out as we go. Goes down, right? Professional services. Oh, book a button, schedule the service, right? That goes over to the contact page, right? Another photo of him working with the gauges, right? Get fast help, right? Why choose us? Contact the pros. Boom. Goes through, got some extra things that are on there. Pop, all matches. It's all the same size. Photo of him on here. Quality, or they talk about the process, right? Schedule service, system diagnosis, repair. If people get this far, people are scrolling and looking through. So, yeah, a couple stock photos, right? We have stock photos. He hasn't submitted all the photos yet. But again, there's no, to a belt, right? But he doesn't have a hard hat on. So, a photo of them, right? So we're working on switching all those out. So now you see that, and he's like, oh, okay, whoops. Oh, I can call. Sweet. I'm going to click the call button, right? I'm not going to talk about financing. I'm going to show the contact page for a second. He's in the process of getting his online booking set up. Now, ready to turn, schedule service, and like the call button is here, right? So you see the call button already when he lands on that page. On the desktop version, we have a little bit different, okay? Boom, schedule service. And again, the call button, the call is right up here, okay? So here's the book of appointment. and a couple extra things. Another form at the bottom, by the way. So I'd like to put 2 forms on there, call for service, those sorts of things. So anyways, that's the live website audit. Of course, if you have any questions, you can text that number before on some of those things. So now what? Okay, I think it's only fair that you're ready to evolve your website, right? And I've given you guys some information, some food to think on for your guys' website. Well, you can either do one or two things. You can stop trying to build it yourself and then start hiring people who does this. good English, Thad. Start hiring people who does this. Are you going to do it yourself or partner with a company that will do it for you? Right? You don't have to navigate this alone, folks. Right? Think about this, right? The reality of DI websites. Okay? You don't know conversion rate optimization. Our designer focuses on conversion rate optimization. He obsesses over it. He's like, how can I get even half a point better if we already maximized everything? What can I change to be able to tweak, to be able to get conversion rate optimization, to be able to optimize the site even better so we can get more conversions and more phone calls for our customers? That's what he cares about. Okay. But you don't have time to become a website building experts, right? I mean, you don't want me personally building your site. It would look like something from the 1990s, right? That's why I employ great people who know what they're doing. And we have a team of experts that do this. Okay. One mistake could hurt your conversions, right? We don't want to do that. Okay. And then your competitors have hired experts while you're still learning, right? You're still missing out on calls because they go and they can't find the information simply. You're missing out. They're going to go to your competitors and then your competitors get the business, right? How much business are you willing to lose while figuring this out? If you're like me, I don't want to lose much. Okay. Remember, I run a business too. I get it. So we get it right. Here's the thing. Here's why we're different. Okay. Home service specialists. We work with HVAC, plumbing, electrical, a couple others, roofing as well, garage doors. Okay. We have an AI first approach, by the way. We've been testing AI for months and baking it into our website builds. We use it to be able to optimize for AI search. Okay. We use it and we use it extensively, and we program the website to be able to be optimized for all things. We care about the consumer and the build. We care about Google and what they look for. And we care about what the large language models look for. Right? We maximize for all three. Very difficult thing to do and to do it right. Most people either build great websites that have shitty SEO or they have great SEO with shitty websites that don't convert. Why not do all three? Okay. The transparent results. You own your accounts, see real ROI data. That's the thing. You own your website. You build it. It's yours. It's hosted on our servers. You can move to whatever other WordPress server you want after we're done building it, if we're doing just a website only project. So, I mean, if you do an SEO and it comes with a website build, you also own your website as well as part of the agreement. So we also have a phone focused. We optimize for calls that convert, not just clicks, right? We optimize for mobile. We make sure there's actually 2 different designs, because mobile first is a big thing, but also desktop. And looking at the differences between the two, we actually designed 2 different images. We designed one for our desktop, one for our mobile, and our developers build it on there. Now you can obviously, we optimize. There's some things you don't have to like specifically do different for mobile, but there are some things that we do. So we have a proven process. Our systematic approach delivers consistent results. So bottom line, we speak your language, understand your business, but we also know how to build websites that convert. Okay. If you want to fast track your website success, here's what you get with us. Okay. You get full website build from top to bottom. You complete AI, SEO, audit, and strategy. If we're only doing a website, by the way, we map out and build your website with SEO in mind. So it comes out of the box, ready to go. On-page SEO is all dialed in. Everything is there. There's just no ongoing SEO unless you're on an ongoing SEO program with us. Okay? The Google Business Profile, I mean, this is if we're doing SEO, Google Business Profile optimization for maximum visibility. We do content restructuring for AI platforms. We have ongoing monitoring and optimization. And you get monthly ROI reporting that you can actually understand. We partnered with Searchlight on some of our tiered programs. Depending on what program a person's on, you get transparent ROI reporting. And the difference is professional implementation versus trial and error learning. You've already saw that on the websites, the difference between them, right? So if you want, let's book your strategy call today. So what you want to do is it's a free website audit call. We'll audit, just mentioned in when you book it, it came through the webinar. We'll audit your current website and AI visibility or lack thereof. Yeah. I'll show you exactly where you're losing customers on your website, just like I did today, but probably a little bit more simplistic for when we go through. Create a custom action plan that you can take to fix on your own or hire us to do it, right? No pressure, no pitch, just honest insights. Okay? That's all I'm here for, help you out. Okay. So if you want to, head on over to onpurposemedia.ca/book. You can also I was going to say onpurposemedia.com/book, but I don't think we have the URL redirect set up. I actually finally bought onpurposemedia.com. We're actually in the process of redoing some of our own website, and it's going to come out on onpurposemedia.com eventually. But don't worry, the .ca will still work. So that's essentially it. That's a wrap. If there's any last lingering questions or you want to ask a question, head on over 719-824-1377. I will respond back. It'll be me. Okay. Or onpurposemedia.ca/book. Thank you for tuning into today's webinar, and we'll chat to you on your strategy call when you book it. If you like what you heard today, you can hit us up and get a marketing analysis done on your business to know if you're on pace or if you're off pace. Head on to the link that's on your screen, onpurposemedia.ca/marketing-analysis. Book a time with us, and we'll go over and give you all of the details. No obligations, by the way, on whether your marketing is on point or whether it's not. Of course, we also want to see you on our socials. We got our Facebook, we got our Instagram, we got our Threads, we got our TikTok. Give us a follow.